Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So a while back, in the beginning of the month, I made a video in Swedish talking about my recent purchases of secondhand books. So like, I think the books I have bought so far, I might have bought a couple of more that I've forgotten when I did, but here they are. So today I'm going to talk about my secondhand purchases. So these are 6 books I purchased secondhand. They're all in Swedish. That is why I made the video in Swedish and not in English first of all, but I had a change of heart after some of you reached out and asked about the books in the video. And of course some of these are available in English, if not all of them. I think maybe all of them are. So yeah, I'm going to talk about these today. So these are 6 books from 2 different locations. One secondhand store that is connected to a church nearby, and one secondhand store that is connected to an organization that helps homeless people, and that also they have in the store, they have things that you can buy really cheap, like clothes and that sort of thing. And they also have like a bunch of services for not only homeless people but also people that are on a low income spectrum. I know I had a friend once that when she had a baby and she had no money to buy clothes, they have this system where you can go and take a paper bag with you, a rather large paper bags, not those small paper bags people in movies have for groceries, but a bigger one, and they could fill that up with clothes. So as many clothes for the baby they can fit in that bag for a certain amount of money. That was like a really low price. And all of the clothes are donated. So this is where I usually go to donate books, clothes, almost anything I have in my home. When I did my Marie Kondo period in 2019, I think almost everything that I unhauled, that I, that didn't give me joy or spark joy for me, I gave to this organization so that they could give it to people in need. And they also have these events for Christmas for people that can't, like soup kitchen like events for people that can't afford food and that sort of thing. So it's a great organization that I really enjoy supporting when I can. And my way of supporting them are, other than donating things, it's buying books. Which is so funny because I buy books from them and then when I read them, most of them I give back for someone else to buy and read. So it's like a circle of life. So I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna talk about this in the order I hold them up here. So Alexander McCall Smith is the author of the first 2, Elena Ferrante, and then Dionne, Lucinda Riley, and Lian Hearn. So 6 books by 5 different authors. So because they are in Swedish, my copies are in Swedish, I'm gonna go on online and see if I can find like what's the word? Synopsises? Synopsises, is that the word? For them in English. So yeah. So the first book I'm gonna talk about is Tears of the Giraffe. It's the second book in #1 Ladies Detective Agency by Alexander McCall Smith. And it says, this is the synopsis: Tears of the Giraffe takes us further into the life of the engaging and sassy Precious Remotsway, the owner and the detective of Botswana's only ladies detective agency. Among her cases are wayward wives, unscrupulous maids, and a challenge to resolve a mother's pain for her son, who is long lost on the African plains. So that's part of the synopsis. So yeah, I've read the first book in this series. I read it in March. I ended March with the first book in this series. So I do want to read the whole series, I think, with time, if I don't get bored with it before that. And when I went to some bookshops with my dad and then alone, I was like, sure, I can, if I find them in these small handy paperback, I can collect them, and when I'm finished with them, maybe I can give them away, the whole series, to some place or something like that. So I could think of like an elderly home or something like that, maybe would be glad to have the whole series. And this series is from the 2000s. So this was first published in January, on January 1st, year 2000. So 2.5 decades ago. And then the next one is also by Alexander McCall Smith. This is the Swedish, of course. In English it's called Tea Time for the Traditionally Built. And it's a number 10 in the number one Ladies Detective Agency series. So we keep following Precious from Motsway, I think. Let's see if there are something about this one in particular. Okay, so I can find that in this one, Precious from Motsway is coming like head to head, toe to toe with an old rival. So it feels like quite a fun quite a fun piece of adventure in this one. So I'm looking forward to this one. But it's number 10, and I'm hoping to get a hold of number 2 through 8. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I do own number 9 as well. I do. The Miracle on Speedy Motors. I do own that one since way back as well. So yeah. Okay, so the next one is... I don't know the title in English for this one. It's the first one in the Napoli series, I think it's called in English, by Elena Ferrante. Because the original is called L'amica geniale, and that is Italian. So I actually don't know the English title, but it's the first one in a series of 4. And in this series we follow Elena and Lila. They grow up and become friends for life, and it's post-war time. It's a very hard way of living. Violence is still a big part of Italy, and there's a lot of assassinations and executions. Oh my lord. Lila is what does it say? In this book, we follow Lila and Elena when they are young women, like up to like 20 years old, I think, or something like that. And it's a series in 4 parts where it's divided in time. We follow these all the way up until they are in their 60s or something like that in the last book. And I found out about this series when I follow a booktuber called Caroline Marie Reads, and she has a book club on Fable, and I think they read this in the book club or something like that. I don't remember, but since it's not English in the original, I wanted to get my hands on a Swedish copy because I would prefer to read a Swedish translation from Italian than an English one, and it's just like a weird way for me to read a translated book, to read it translated into a language that isn't my own. So I wanted to get a hold of this. I want to try this series because Caroline really made me interested in it, even though I have no reason to be. Because it doesn't really sound like something I would like. Just to talk like with 2 girls growing up into becoming women. I've read a lot of different books with female friends and some stuff like that in books. So I wouldn't have picked it up if she hadn't intrigued me to do so. So yeah, and I found it secondhand and I was like, yeah, of course, I can read the first one and then I can decide if I want to own the others and when I read those or borrow them from the library. So the next book is by Karen Dionne. It's in English it's called The Marsh King's Daughter, and it's from July 2017. I think this is published later than that though. So it says like this. The mesmerizing tale of a woman who must risk everything to hunt down the dangerous man who shaped her past and threatens to steal her future, her father. Helena Pelletier has a loving husband, 2 beautiful daughters, and a business that fills her days. But she also has a secret. She is the product of an abduction. Her mother was kidnapped as a teenager by her father and kept in a remote cabin in the marshlands of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Helena, born 2 years after the abduction, loved her home in nature, and despite her father's sometimes brutal behavior, she loved him. She loved him too, until she learned precisely how savage he could be. More than 20 years later, she has buried her past so soundly that even her husband doesn't know the truth, but now her father has killed 2 guards, escaped from prison, and disappeared into the marsh. The police began a manhunt, but Helena knows they don't stand a chance, knows that only one person has the skills to find the survivalist the world calls the Marsh King, because only one person was ever trained by him, his daughter. So the funny thing is that this copy I bought in February. I have the receipt here. I bought this at the place connected to a church here in my municipality. But I also bought it a couple of weeks ago in the other place. So I have 2 copies of this. So if I like it enough to want to keep it and reread it, I also have a copy to give to someone else. So I paid approximately €1 for this one and €2 for the other one. So that's what happens when you're intrigued by some by the back of a book and you're like, oh, and then you don't read it. And then you go somewhere else and you find the same book and be like, oh, but this time I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna bring it home. And then you come home and you're like, oh, oops. So this book is called The Love Letter by Lucinda Riley. This is standalone, and I'm gonna talk more about Lucinda Riley in a bit. I'm gonna talk about this book first. So, Windsor, 1995, London. I'm gonna put it like this so I don't just wobble it when I talk. When Sir James Harrison, one of the greatest actors of his generation, passes away at the age of 95, he leaves behind not just a heartbroken family and a wealth of memorabilia from his long career, but also secrets so shocking, so devastating, that it could change everything. Joanna Haslam is an ambitious young journalist assigned to cover the legendary actor's funeral. The great and the good of the celebrity world will be there, but Joanna stumbles on something dark beneath the glamour. The mention of a letter Harrison has left behind, the contents of which he was desperate to conceal. As she gets closer to tracking down the source, she realizes that there are other very interested parties, and they'll stop at nothing to reach the letter before she does. This title was originally published as Seeing Double. Okay, so it has changed title over the years. Alright, it's from 2019. So not that old, actually. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. And I don't know if you can see, but up here I have a lot of Lucinda Riley books. These colorful things here, those are favorites. I love Lucinda Riley's writing. So up here I have the whole of the Seven Sisters series, ending with, up here I have Atlas, the story of Pasalt. And I think somewhere in my home I have another book by her, but yeah, so I have read some of her books from the library as well. So I don't know where I'm at with her backlist or whatever you call it. But I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into this one. It's quite chunky. It's approximately Can I please have page numbers? It's approximately 550 pages, and like you see, this is the normal size of a paperback in Sweden. So this is 550 pages, and I think I will probably read this I will aim to read it in June or July. I'm going on a road trip with my cousins in July, so maybe I will bring this one then, because this is, if we are gone for like 5 days, this will be wonderful to bring with me, and I don't have to bring with me other books, but we'll see. We'll see where my TBR games takes me in June, first of all. So, and maybe I feel like picking it up now in May. Maybe I do. We'll see. So the 6th and last book in my tiny book haul is Across the Nightingale Floor, the first book in Tales of the Otori by Lian Hearn. I don't know if it's Lian or Lian. I don't know if it's a female or male or non-binary author or whatever. I have no idea. But it is from 2002, so first published August 26th, 2002. It says that it's 305 pages in the English edition. For me it's 312, so pretty similar. So let's see what it's about then. All of these have quite a good rating, around 4 stars on Goodreads, just so you know. So I guess me and Goodreads have similar tastes. In his black-walled fortress at Inuyama, the warlord Ida Sadamu surveys his famous nightingale floor. Constructed with exquisite skill, it sings at the tread of each human foot. No assassin can cross it unheard. The youth Takeo has been brought up in a remote mountain village among the hidden, reclusive and spiritual people who have taught him only the ways of peace. But unbeknownst to him, his father was a celebrated assassin and a member of the tribe, an ancient network of families with extraordinary preternatural. Okay, this is a word I don't know how to pronounce. Preter natural. Preternatural skills. My Swedish brain don't compute. When Takeo's village is pillaged, he is rescued and adopted by the mysterious Lord Otori Shigeru. Under the tutelage of Shigeru, he learns that he too possesses the skills of the tribe, and with this knowledge he embarks on a journey that will lead him across the famed Nightingale floor and to his own unimaginable destiny. I'm gonna Google that shit. Hang on. So it's basically the same as Supernatural. Okay, now I know. I'm not gonna remember it for long though. Probably not. So these are the 6 books that I bought recently. 7 if you remember that I have 2 copies of this. So yeah, these are my recent secondhand bookstore haul. So thank you for watching, and thank you for requesting this video, and I will definitely keep you posted on the books that I bring home, no matter where they are from. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have read any of these books, if you are interested in any of these books, and yeah, I would like to know. So I will see you in my next video, and have a lovely May reading month. Xingling!